one of the things that you point out in your writings is that this language was never a written language, and written languages developed for different purposes, for practical purposes, political purposes, not necessarily as closely grounded in the sacred as the non-written.
Yes, and one of the reasons that they did that, at least I was told early on, was because oral tradition allows that language to continue to grow as the people are growing in consciousness. So the pronunciation actually ignites a resonance in the psyche of that individual speaking it or hearing it, and it does something with developing higher consciousness.
Yeah. And when you've lived as you have in a culture which has been stable for so long and not involved in industrial society, you have, I think, a different sense of the purpose of life itself, the reason for being and the nature of existence.
Well, it gives the feeling that a sense of a deep sense of eternity, like as if the outer changes that are taking place, but there's an inner, very deep, profound level that is continually there, perpetuating whatever is occurring in the outer peripheries of daily life.
Mm-hmm. That's what I found so beautiful in your writings and in all of your work. It comes through very, very strongly, this sense of eternity, that you realize that in the face of eternity, this lifespan of ours is just a blink of an eye.
Well, I've noticed that more so now after I've gotten more into the ancient mysteries of my father's people, that even the way they walk, the way they sit and walk, you can almost feel the resonance of a very old people, a very ancient level of being that's right within the way they live, the way they move, and then their dances and how they do them and worship that way.
I think I was particularly impressed when you talked about your grandmother and how even in cleaning the house and sweeping the floor, every movement was a way of reminding you of your connection with the world of spirit or the world of eternity.
Yes, you see, because they related everything to sound. So when she was sweeping the floor, for instance, there was that sound of the boom, and I'll just make it for you here, is chile, chile, chile. That sound. Well, that sound can take you into trance state by just repeating it over and over. And that's the sound that they used to teach us was for the purposes of getting into the foundation of life. Apparently, consciousness does have a foundation or floor, if you will, the basis for everything, the floor plan. And that sound could take you in, so that even as she was sweeping, she was reminding us that's even sweeping the floor was a meditation. And of course the dust was she used to joke with us and say that was to entrap you into it, so that you can become stronger in your beliefs and foundation. So
you've worked much of your adult life with vibration.
That's right.
And with sound, and I gather that much of this is original to you through your own visionary experience, but much of it came through the teachings of the Ute peoples and the Pueblo peoples that were imparted to you.
Yes, a lot of it came right out of the teachings. Doing the Ute Sundance, for instance, was a very important time for me, because it allowed me to grow in very beautiful, significant ways in developing my visionary capacities. With the Pueblo people doing the animal dances, because the animal dances are really ways by which the people dance the vibrations of being. You see, all the animal dances, the Indian that they dance, and the plant dances are connected to forms that create the significance of cosmic consciousness. You see. So it was developing since I was about 8 years old, and it just continued on until such time as I began to follow those forms consciously.
Now, you've mentioned the sun dance, and many of our viewers may not be familiar with that. I understand there has been some controversy around it. I wonder if you could tell us, for you, what the sun dance is.
The sun dance, I think, is the way by which, at least for me, I learn how enlightenment works. Enlightenment, I believe, comes like in a flash of light. At least that's the way I understand it. It's like a flash, which I call a circle of light. And out of that flash, out of that circle of light, certain information or wisdom is translated into conscious thought. And that's what I learned about the sun dance and what it is.
Can you describe a little bit about the actual dance itself?
There's a pole. We do the sun dance dream quest, in which we dance back and forth to this pole that has a Y at the very top, and we dance back and forth to it over a period of 3 days, 3 to 4 days, with no food or water. And as we dance, the second or third day, we reach very deep spiritual levels, in which we go into the dream, the dream, because this is a dream. We're living in the dream state, and so we go into this perceptual reality.
Yeah. In fact, I thought it was fascinating that you posed the question in one of your books that has often come to my mind. It's a question I don't think many people ask, but the question is, are we real?
That's right. One of the questions that I asked early on was, are we real? And the question that, the answer came, and doing my ceremonies, is that we're not real. Actually, we're like a strobe light that comes on, goes off, comes on, comes on. But it's happening so fast that we don't realize that it's happening. When we cease to exist in any single moment that we do, at that moment we return back to the infinite, and then return again. And it is the light that helps us to keep that consciousness and that continuity. But otherwise, we're total clarity, which is the color of the dark, of dark light, but it's so pure that it's clear.
It's hard for me to totally grasp the meaning of all of your words, but my sense is that what you're saying is that we're like projections on a movie screen. Exactly. Coming from another, not even another dimension, coming from eternity itself.
Yes, from eternity itself. And it's in the Tiwa culture we call it Na Mene. Na Mene means soil or earth, and Na means the self, Me means goodness that is in a place of movement. Goodness and movement are synonymous, and so you have there the movement that creates us to exist as projections from the base, which is the planet, in this case the planet Earth, you see, the soil, because the soil is not really soil, it's infused with consciousness, you see. So therefore the land for us is very precious, because it's our mother. It's in fact, in Tiwa we say Kia Tamene, which means mother, father, and Kia means placement that is purifying, and Tamene means seed that is in a state of movement. And those two combinations is what makes the basis for consciousness. That the mother provides the place. In the spring, when we used to go out and plant the fields, the land that we were tilting and that we were cultivating, and I'd follow the plow and drop the seeds. Well, the land is the mother that is purifying the seed once it is embedded there, and the seed is the father, and that movement is the awareness or the germination that is occurring with the seed. And Kiwa translates that as a way of talking about higher consciousness.
Yeah.